Hey guys, so before we proceed into the video, here's a little update for everyone. So this is a disclaimer for any interruption in the internet or the quality of the video of our speakers and on the host side. So if at all the audio is good, go ahead and leave your phone at the side and feel free to listen to the recorded audio chat. So always remember, it's not all about the quality of the video, but more towards the content of the video. So we really hope that you guys have fun and leave a comment below on what you actually learned, or if you would like to share your experience on this particular topic in the comment section below. So have fun, guys.
And when you set that small seed of, I'm going to do this, you can do this, angels will come. It was in a dark room. I was giving up. I had a knife with me and my wrist was there. It was just taking that courage to do it, because it's okay to look this way. You're tired. It's fine. But you can also be happy. You also deserve the happiness. I swear to God, there was a prong of light that just shone on Isabel's face.
This program is brought to you by Reset app. It is an amazing app that equips you to be happy by flexing the positive mindset muscle. Many are benefiting from this, so go ahead and click the link in the description below. It's free. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel to stay connected.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be here. As you all know that we are doing these episodes in conjunction with the World Mental Health Day. And at our point, what we're doing is that we are giving it a slight twist. We are calling it with something called, with a title called Being Human. See, the reason why we want to have this theme going on is this. Currently, we all call ourselves human being, but unfortunately, we are not being human. So why? Because when we look at the trajectory that has taken place from the beginning till now, there's a lot of things that has happened, and COVID-19 has taught us a lot of lesson. Example, for the 2 to 3 months of lockdown, Mother Nature actually sorted things out a lot. So I was telling my kids, my close associates, that if we don't change our trajectory, there'll be one day, or I can't call it a fine day, where we'll be so embarrassed to call ourselves human being. So let's not do that. Let's just look at how we can start being human. That's how we started. So today I'm very, very excited to be in a space with an amazing lady. I've had met Daphne a couple of months ago, and we were actually having this conversation about having Daphne on board on World Mental Health Day. This is before COVID-19. We thought we were going to see personally. I just said, when we plant the seed and give it intention and nurture it, things will grow. So before I bring Daphne on board, she has an amazing portfolio that I have to just read. I'm going to read. My laptop is just in front of me. Daphne Iking is an award-winning actress and TV host, and has worked across various forms of media as a broadcaster, writer, and social media influencer. Her following is huge. She is also TLC, Asia's pioneer host for Say Yes to Dress Asia. The recent pandemic had pushed her to set up a live streaming platform using professional equipment that was built by her husband, Azmi, together with Daphne, within the safe confinement of a home during the lockdown. I can say for sure they did an amazing job, because I was blessed to be invited to be in one of the shows. Amazing job, guys. She holds a master's degree in screen studies from University of Science Malaysia, Penang, and is a sought-after Master of Ceremony for both corporate and lifestyle events, with over 18 years of experience in the showbiz industry. Notable emceeing gigs include the World Islamic Economic Forum in Dubai and the 27th Asian Summit. Amazing! I have actually seen Daphne doing one MC in one of the industries that she was doing. I was very excited to see how fluid she was, so kudos to her. She is a dedicated, you guys have to pay attention, dedicated child rights activist, dedicating much of her personal and professional time raising awareness to child rights violation in Malaysia, and a mechanism to support the children's rights. Such advocacy has included successful intervention with the Malaysian government. That is a big scale. I was just having a conversation with her. Later, we'll be having more conversation how she's actually balancing a time. Corporate mentor and trainer. Clients include the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, MDAC, and Crow Howard. Motivational speaker for numerous NGOs, Learning Institute, and has been invited to speak on 2 TEDx talks. TED, wow, amazing. I'm getting goosebumps here, sitting here with Daphne. A certified prenatal yoga instructor who teaches weekly community yoga to expecting single mothers. She is a member or volunteer of Women's Aid Organization and Shelter for Abused Women and Children, and is the ambassador of Vaseline Healing Project, bringing medical attention to the underprivileged and vulnerable communities. Was appointed to form the Women Advisory and Consultative Council, chaired by the Women, Family and Community Development Ministry. Wow. Now, strongly campaigned for members of parliament for both sides to agree on passing the Sexual Offences Against Children Act. This is a big thing. Kids need to be taken care. So she's doing an amazing job. Advocate and moderate for the Stop Children's Sexual Crimes National Seminar 2017. Run half marathons to raise funds for hospice. This is something we need to talk about. You know, I love running too. Is currently finding ways to end the plight of statelessness in Malaysia, focusing on foundlings as well as finding ways to build on the political will of government and stakeholders to resolve this issue, especially in Sabah. Now I bring on board Daphne Iking. Thank you so much, Daphne. Thank you so much.
Hello. Sorry, that was
Wow.
quite a long read.
Yeah,
When the
and,
producer, aka Kavita, asked me for my
Yeah.
bio, I thought you'd summarize it.
I just read it because everything seems to be right to be told. So I'm so blessed to be in this space with you. I'm so happy that you are here. So we're going to have this conversation, right?
About mental health, because you and I know you are actually working with a lot of kids, and it all starts from young. And when they're growing up, there's certain seeds they will be carrying also. So before we go into the mental health side and all that, let's talk about. Can you please share your entertainment? How you came into this entertainment? Because I know you have a master's degree in screen and all that. How did you? Were you already into show business, or you did something else and then you came in? So please share.
So, funnily enough, I terjebak into this industry because in university, I had a bit of a fallout with my late father back then. You know, rebellious teen. I think some teenagers go through that. Not proud of it, but it was just an experience and a journey that I went through. Having said that, because of that little ego that I held, I told my father, it's okay, I can look after myself and I will pay for my own fees in university, and I will show you that it can be done. So that included me being a cabaret dancer. I was also a sales promoter, and I also taught tuition on the side. So I met up with, of course, naturally, when you're in the showbiz, you meet up with people, your network broadens. And there was one person who was my first manager. God bless him. He passed away already. Nigel Ivan Sampson. So he actually dragged me to join a beauty pageant that they were having in Penang when I was studying, because he said, like, hey, if you win this, you can at least, you don't have to use your motorbike ke Hulu Hili to go and get your dancing done and your studies done at the same time. You can actually put this as a down payment of your first pre-love, a second-hand car. So I said, you know what, it's just a day, it's just a night, and I won it. So from there, we had talent scouts. Back then, the TV commercial world was huge. We didn't have social media, so it's all about ads and stuff. So I think from there, they scouted me as a talent when I won. And it was from there. I think because Nigel sort of told me to start dancing, and it started as me just being a backup dancer, and then the lead dancer fell sick, so they said, Daphne, can you just learn the steps? I went on, and then they said, oh, we need someone to commentate, can you just do a bit of emceeing? So I did that. And because I was already studying mass communications in USM, the initial path was for me to become a journalist. So I was focusing more on writing and journalism. But when I was doing my internship, they placed me at a production house, and it was also from there that networking happened, and I was casted to join TV3. And as they say, the rest is history. So that was it.
Wow.
It was sort of. I think God intended for me to be in this industry because it started from me becoming a dancer and networking, getting my platform on that beauty pageant that I didn't really think I would win.
Wow.
I just my mind was, okay, I want that money so that I can put down payment on my secondhand car, and that car just lasted me for so long. I felt so sucky when I had to sell it because I had to upgrade.
Wow.
So that's how
It's,
it started actually.
it's amazing. It's interesting when you had a fallout with your dad, you didn't know that you're going to end up here, right? You just wanted to stand on your 2 feet and get things going for yourself. But it's funny that you actually you connected the dots. Now when you look at the dots, you know that the dots made sense because like what's this guy Steve Jobs said, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect the dots looking backward of all the things that you have done. So I have a question for you there, Daphne. So were you happy when you're doing all this stuff? You're going into beauty pageant, you were into cabaret, you're into dancing and all that. How were you feeling deep inside? Were you happy and feeling fulfilled during this connecting dot time?
Oh, definitely. I felt happiest when I was doing all these things. So that's why it didn't feel like a job. The blessing was that I was getting paid on the job, and that was actually my end goal because I needed the cash flow. I needed that 3,000 to pay for my car. I needed the money for my dancing to pay for my fees. But I was enjoying it, even for the beauty pageant initially, because a lot of and I think this might offend some who take this as a serious business, joining pageants and stuff like that. But for me, I went there having fun. My goal was, if I menang, menang lah, but I'll have fun. I'm going to go there with my friends. We're on these beautiful, people are going to just make me up, and I'm just going to walk the talk and just do what I have to do. And I had fun, and I think that's very important, because if you are not happy or you don't have that passion doing something, then it doesn't give you 100% satisfaction, and the results.
Wow, this is amazing because when I do my sessions in coaching and all that, I always tell my clients that you have your goals is good, but what you need to do is that you need to chunk it down to small little processes and just have fun, have accomplishing that, because it's easier to overcome obstacles in a smaller goal compared to a bigger goal. Like winning a beauty pageant is huge, but you're just having fun doing stuff, and that led you to winning a beauty pageant. So it's human being is just amazing if we can just understand ourselves better, and from now onwards, if we can just focus on doing the small little things, the big things are always there. Your story actually says that it's a proof, right? Now, MCO came, recently. Nobody knew it's going to come. I don't know why it came. Maybe to teach everyone a lesson to wake up. I really don't know, and I'm not judging, but the fact is, it's happening right now. And all of us were taken by surprise. And one of the things that I always encounter, because during our lockdown, we were having a lot of free sessions, like how you're connecting with your fans. And the biggest thing that was coming out definitely was uncertainty. Nobody knew what's going to happen. So uncertainty, it created fear, and that fear was real. So now I want to know from you, how were you feeling during your lockdown? I'm sure it affected a lot of things. You were also seeing some uncertainty. I would also like to know, how did you cope and come out of it? Because I know you were doing a lot of work. My kids were sharing a lot of things that you're doing. I was very excited and very inspired. So please share, how did it affect you, and how did you cope and come out of it?
One thing about me, I think I'm I'm annoyingly positive. I'm a very optimistic person. So when you mention the word fear, there was a lot of fear. I wouldn't use the word fear. I think it was more of, it kept me on my toes. It was something that made me realize, like, when shit hits the fan, what is my next step? It wasn't so much of fear per se. And admittedly, I was worried, I was concerned, only because
Yeah.
at that particular time, I was also pregnant with my fourth child, which was hidden by to the public at that point of time. So it was a blessing in disguise also, because when I was trying to, one of the reasons why, I'll get back to your question in a bit, but one of the reasons why I kept my pregnancy a secret was also because, unfortunately, this industry can be a little bit harsh and discriminating against pregnant women. They think that pregnant women aren't able to, I don't know, MC as well as a non-pregnant woman. I don't know. So having said that, it was probably a blessing, because the MCO took place during the later stage of my pregnancy, which made me feel less guilty for not being able to go out, because everyone couldn't go out. It was across the board. So that was the blessing that I saw. And I saw the blessing as, Daphne, cool down, calm down. You need to take a break. You're expecting your fourth child. You're not exactly spring chicken anymore. And you need to make sure that your health is optimum. So I took that as a resting period for me, because last year, when we found out that we had this surprise blessing, this pregnancy, I thought, okay, I'm going to be out of job. Again, not knowing about the MCO, I'm going to be out of work from this month to this month with the confinement. I need to make sure that I'm able to create enough abundance to cushion us during that little time that we have focusing on the fourth baby, right? So yeah, the MCO took place, and the health, and my health was actually optimized because I was getting more rest. However, yes, there were concerns. How long is this going to be? There were uncertainties. So it actually brought my husband and I closer to the family. That's one, because we didn't have a helper. The helper was not around. And two, we were able to kickstart the live stream that we had actually implemented years before, when we were trying to get clients on board, saying, guys, let's go on live stream. And they were still they're still very much of the traditionalist. No, we need to have a proper event and spend money on this and that. And I said, it can all be done via live stream. So there's no excuse that participants won't be able to access it, because they'll say like, oh, traffic jam la, I have to be here. Right now, you can just watch it on your phone, on your device. And that was planted. My husband actually has been selling this idea to his clients many years ago. So when we were, of course, on lockdown, I was on a cleaning spree, and he started spring cleaning his camera equipment. And he started going like, I haven't used this in a while. I haven't used this tripod. Hey, let's play around with this. And he started tinkling. And this place where we are at now is now like our live stream studio come office area. So that became slowly another form of source of income for us. And we were one of the first pioneer in our Malaysian context to have this professional setup. And because of that, now it's the new norm. Everyone's doing it. Maybe some people already macam muak already kan. But we had that, and that was the blessing, I guess. So
wow, amazing. So you kept yourself busy.
We did.
I like two things that you said just now, Daphne. You said your narrative is different. You were not having fear, worry, yes, but you were not using the narrative of fear, which is very powerful, because we run on narratives, right? And another thing is that you use the word blessing for your fourth child, and the whole world stopped, right? And you can't do much. It's like, you can't do. You just have to do what's right in front of you. You need to be in the moment. I like that you spend time with your family, which is amazing. See, during our sessions, there are issues where we heard that there was issues of families not getting together because now they're confined. They can go to work, but they're confined. We spoke about this also. We are blessed. We have some space to ourselves. But just imagine in a place where there's 7 of them staying in a small little confined place. It's like, you will tend to have friction, and you can't even go to the playground to express yourself. So that is tough. So you coped very well. I know that you're very active in social media. You have a huge following, amazing. You have what, like 200,000-300,000 people in your Insta alone, right? Wow, amazing. And you built it over time, right? It took time. Yeah. So it is not by chance it came where you came up with one video and everything, next thing, So now I want to ask about social media, because social media is something which is very powerful. Where people, tend to go for, the moment they do posting, they tend to see how many likes they've got. They want to see what are the comments they have, right? Now, when you first started, Daphne, how did you feel about, when you post something? Are you like always going in and checking, how many likes you got and what are the comments in the beginning stage? Now, I think it's too big. You can't really pay attention. But the beginning, yeah.
Um, actually, um, because I was a broadcast journalist and I was in the
Mm,
news and current affairs department, I started my social media, and it was a private social media. I started out with my YouTube because there were certain topics that were taboo that I was not allowed to discuss over national TV, politics,
yeah.
religion, sensitive issues like that. But I felt as a person who has verbal diarrhea, I needed a
Mm,
space to do that, but at the same time stay safe. So most of my social media then was actually private, and I had a blog that was not under my name, and that was it was more of an outlet for me. You know what I mean? So managing these social media platforms was something that I wanted as a digital archive for my own feelings, my thoughts, as well as pictures of the family. Now, having said that, social media suddenly became boom. Clients started looking into social media influencers and stuff like that. So I had to unprivate my
mm,
social media pages, and they wanted to see the followers that you have. And it was a little bit tricky because I pride myself in having authentic followers. I don't want to buy my followers. I've heard that there are some people who would buy followers because they need that amount, and it I think some clients are more cleverer now. They will see the engagement and stuff like that. But back
yes.
then, they would choose you not based on your talent or your resume or your background or your experience. It was back down to your followers. So it
Yes.
was a little bit stressful at that time, because here I am building my life and my workflow, and now you're just basing it on how many followers I have. And bear in mind that I kept mine private for a very long time.
Mm,
So not
mm,
every Tom, Dick, and Harry can go in and be a
yeah.
follower.
Yes.
But yes, I feel that at the end of the day, I know my DNA. If someone wants to hire me based on my followers and
Mhm.
I lose the job because of that, then it's not for me. It's
Yeah.
not meant to be. You
Yeah.
think that my 200, 300,000 followers is a lot. It's actually small in comparison to those the clients are looking at, where they're looking at millions of
Yeah.
followers, right?
Yeah.
But I'm blessed because right now I've got micro influence. I'm using that platform to those who I can reach out generally, who want me for what they believe in, my authenticity and my integrity of what I believe in.
Yeah.
So going back to your question, yeah, social media plays a very big role um, in my work life, only because I am hired to do certain posts and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And thank you to all the clients who believe in me in that. But it's more of my digital archive. And I like to think of
Mhm.
it that way. If you set your focus and purpose of what is the intention of having
Mm,
this properly and stick to it, the blessings of the rizki will come forward,
mm.
and if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. If it's not, it's not. So I don't
Wow.
kira sangat if it's like tak banyak followers, tak banyak like. I'm not constantly checking on it like that, but I do notice what what people appreciate more, and
Mm,
it's always about giving value back to them. It's
mm.
not always about, hi, look at me, I'm gorgeous. It's always,
Uh,
okay, I found this person. You have to know more about law of attraction because it really helped me. You have to set your goals. This is the person to go to. I think you have to give back value to the community. I think that's
mm.
more purposeful.
Wow, that's amazing. See, so matured, right? And I think maturity is very important when we're engaging ourselves in social media. Because nowadays there's a lot of cyberbullying that's taking place. Many cases of kids committing suicide. I know there was one in Sabah, Sarawak, a couple of years ago. She just took a life. And just imagine the type of chemical reaction that's taking place in their mind, their brain over there, for them to just unplug themselves to commit suicide. So, there are people will be watching this, Daphne, who are into social media, because this is it's a double-edged sword. It is good. At the same time, if you don't know how to handle it, it will basically cut us into tatters, right? So now, what would your advice be for people who, I'm hardly into social media in the sense my Facebook very tiny, okay, not many following. It's just if Facebook decides to ban me, also doesn't nothing happens actually for me. So, but it's managed by Kavita for certain reasons because I have to share some stuff. So I don't in the beginning when I got to know about Facebook, I don't know whether you experienced this or not. When I want to go into Facebook or any other social media in the beginning, I'll be excited because there'll be a notification that will come. It'll lure me
Allah.
into it, and then I'll go and check. I just want to check what this person have said, and then next thing is that I will go. I don't know where I went. I'll be just going in, deeper and deeper and deeper. I don't know where I was. Initially, I was very excited before I got the notification. When I'm coming out of social media, I feel crappy. I don't know whether you have experienced that. Many experiencing that. I've actually asked that. So actually, then I realized why is it happening, and I'm going to ask you this. What do you think of social comparison? Because that's the biggest thing that's taking place in social media. So how do you handle social comparison? Because when you go in, you tend to see others doing something else better than us. But we don't know how they are hurting in their own life and only see the good things, right? How do you handle that? I want you to go to the time when you first started, when you were not as matured as how you are at the moment. Because that's where a lot of people, they are at the moment. How did you handle that? And how do you feel when you're socially comparing without anybody knowing that you're comparing?
Wow. I'm trying to recall back again. Again, maybe because I guess perhaps because, again, the reason why I had those social media was more of an outlet. But let me think. Yes, I think there was once where I felt very bad about myself. Two incidences. One was because I saw someone, a peer of mine, who we sort of ranked the ladder together, but I was still struggling, and I had some personal issues my end, and everything seemed so fine and dandy with her life.
Yeah.
But I knew also because we're friends of friends, right? So I knew also that it was all just cover up. I mean, I'm sure she's happy. But she had her own demons herself.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, I really need to make sure that whatever I post, it has to be authentic. It has to be, I cannot allow people to feel as if I want to make sure that everything is authentic. I mean, there are beautiful pictures instead. There are beautiful captions, things that inspire, but there are going to be shitty moments, and I'll post that too.
Wow.
And I know I'm not really answering your question here, but I think because I never really dwelled on that. I've never actually saw that part. You know what I mean? I guess as people might say, it's projecting. I don't know. I've never, because my intention was only for me as a verbal diarrhea outlet. It wasn't for me to gain insights or it was me. It was all for me. It wasn't for like, I need your validation about what I just posted. It was nothing about that. So maybe that's why I can't really answer you in that sense. But I keep it authentic because someone had compared me to themselves. And she it happened recently, and my friend told me, because we both know this friend, and she said, Daph, do you know XYZ unfollowed you the other day? And I said, why? Because you guys beranak at the same time. And she said she sees you done lost weight, you look happy, you look this, you look that, and she said she felt depressed and she was going through postpartum depression, and she unfollowed you, Daphne. And I said, like, shit, because whilst I wasn't going all out for me to say like, look at me, I'm all happy. Again, my social media is my way of expressing myself.
Yes.
It is my way, it's my outlet. So I may be feeling shitty inside, but it's my way. Whether I'm shitty or not, I just say what I have to say. And maybe that makes me look energized compared to what she may be feeling when she sees it. So I actually addressed this. I actually addressed it on my social media. I said, look, I want you all to know that on pictures, I may look good, but I give you the best pictures. I give you the best angle. This is me. And I show them the reality of a flabby skin, of the cellulite, of and the stretch marks, and the tiredness, the wrinkles, the open pores. I don't use filters. Why? Because I want to keep it real. I want people to know that it's okay to look this way. You're tired. It's fine. But you can also be happy. You also deserve the happiness. So yeah,
Amazing.
I haven't been on the other that side. I've been on the other side. You know what I mean? Of that social comparison.
You answered it well, Daphne. You see, it's basically your mental state when you're doing this, right? You use social media as a tool to express yourself and to be authentic. And you really don't really care what people are going to say. You're authentic, right? Majority of the people, they're not being authentic, and they're expressing it without being authentic, hoping that something marvelous will be coming their way. Unfortunately, it goes the other way. You know, that's the sad part. Resiliency is very important if we are going to open up ourselves to the world. Because people out there, we don't know what they're going through. Like what you say, you posted something, but the other person who read it how they want to read it, right? It's so funny, I tell my team, when you're sending WhatsApp messages, if you can pick up the phone and talk, please talk. Because when you don't have good relationship with someone the other side, when you send whatever emoji, that emoji will be misinterpreted. I got it a lot of times. I say, why did this person put this emoji? I said, what's wrong with that emoji? For me, it's okay. So that boils down to we all are operating from our memory, right? We're just, I'm seeing you from the last time I had a conversation with you. What a wonderful person, what a kind person. So I am projecting that toward today so that I can get more memory. So we are operating from our memory. So one of the things that I'm trying to do, I'm working hard to do, Daphne, is I want to see people as they are. When they're in front of me, I just want to see them as they are, zero judgment, because everybody has a chance to change, right? They're all transforming. So amazing what you answered, because you use this as a tool to express. That's why you can't go to a place where you can find, was I feeling shitty about comparing myself with someone? You couldn't, right? And keep doing that. And this is something I think a lot of people need to understand. Don't just go to social media just to get praise, because you cannot control the person who's actually reading and commenting the other side. So that's one of the reasons, our Reset app that we created. And it doesn't have a comment, but nobody can comment. You're free to express yourself. So some people don't know how to comment. They need to go to school, maybe University of Commenting. I don't know. It's just so sad. Now let's talk about this addiction, right? Social media. It's becoming huge, definitely, because nowadays I have a friend who's a doctor. So I asked him this question: hey, do you get a lot of people with neck pain that's coming and seeing you? He said yes. More people are coming to visit him because of neck pain. The reason why they're having neck pain is basically they're looking down to their phone.
Oh, I'm like, why neck pain? Oh, okay.
They're having their neck pain at the back, spondylitis or whatever. So it's rampant now. They have eyesight problem. So we are dealing with a technology that we are not that ready to be responsible at, right? That's our challenge. So let's talk about on addiction, because I know notification, when a notification comes, a ding in the phone gets us excited. A ding in the phone gets the dopamine running.
Sorry.
Lovely.
See,
Yeah,
as of how life is, I'm just going to be talking to you.
I
And
love this. Wow.
we're just keeping things real here.
Yeah.
Keeping it real.
What's his name?
This is Elon, everybody. And he wants his milk. So we're gonna continue this conversation while I try and let me just cut short. Let me just cover myself so that not everyone will be seeing my boob. But that's just how it is, We have to. Okay, I don't like this word also. It's not about so much about going with the flow. I don't like that, because then we won't have a purpose in life.
Yeah.
But we must be able to have flexibility. You know what I mean? Yes, Mama's giving you flexibility. Hold on, my baby. Okay, here you go. Okay, there you go. Let me just feed him. There. And then let's just make sure that this. I can't remember. I think when we were talking back then, Kavita is going to have a happy time editing this.
Beautiful. This is an amazing moment, right? Mother and daughter or son?
Son. So I've got
Son,
two
mother and
girls,
son.
two boys. God wants me balance. I ask for balance from God. He give me balance. So like tak cukup lagi. You need one more boy. Ambil kau.
Just nice, ambil kau. Law of attraction, you got it.
I know,
amazing.
Right? I wasn't sure if this was law of attraction, but maybe he wanted me to have balance.
Yeah.
Always.
I mean, everything happens for a reason.
Sorry, as you go. Hold on, guys. Let me just try and find him. He doesn't like using the cover. Okay, nah.
Ayo.
Because all your kids are grown up already. Like, oh my God. Okay, I am so sorry.
That's I wish I can tell, I know how it feels when you're breastfeeding. I can't. I should ask my wife, baby. We had twins some more, so I think she was both occupied. So I don't know. Yeah, but it's just, yeah.
I think he's quiet now. Sorry.
Nice.
Let's continue.
That's cool. Yeah. So about addiction, people are getting into social media and all that stuff. They can't actually distinguish the time when they need to be in, when they need to be out. They tend to carry themselves with the news that they have in their mind, what they've read. Now, especially kids are having this challenge. I want to ask you, how do you think parents can play a role in helping their kids to be more responsible? Because I get parents who come to us and say, hey, my God, my son or daughter is always using the phone. I'm quite crude with them. I'll just tell them, please slap the person who gave the phone to them. And they just look at me one time because the child didn't have the money to go and buy, right? So how do you think parents can play a role in helping them? Yes, social media is important, but how can they have a balanced time?
Right. So this is something that my husband and I have been toying around with. When is the right time that we give our kids the devices? But at the same time, because we as in this industry where technology is key and being able to connect and understand these devices is something that is part and parcel of our life. Yeah. We felt that empowering them with knowledge and will enable them to be more responsible. So they each have a social media page, which I manage, only because, again, this comes with the work that encompasses, because we are known, our brand as a family is a family brand. We are travel vloggers, a family travel vloggers, which is also one of my goals in life, because my goal in life, my abundance is not so much on finances. It's about being able to spend quality time traveling the world with my family. I'm very, very set on that. But having said that, the clients wants to look at our branding, and that is the reason why we have social media pages for all our kids. But I think because also I work as a child activist, I know the dangers. There's predators out there, and no matter how much you want to protect your children, there are idiots, there are nasty people out there. So I think the best way to counter this is to just educate them and to tell them very frankly, these are the people that's out there. You need to learn how to handle all these creeps out there, because there's only so much blocking we can do. My daughter, Isabel, who's 12, she's turning 13 this year. She seems like she's a 16-year-old. She's really broody. She's in her room. She doesn't want to hang out with the younger kids. And we've all been through that. Well, at least I have. Okay. And that worried me, because again, I work with a lot of unwed pregnant mums, and when I counsel them, most of them aren't able to speak to their parents about them getting knocked up, or because they don't have that communication with their family. And I said, oh my God, what is the chances of me being someone who advocates all this and my own child is not talking to me, right? Because I got worried, because she's not talking to me. And having said that, I do monitor their social media pages. They know that they have to be responsible. We're very strict and firm when it comes to abusing that trust. One of them recently, one of Isabel, going back to Isabel again. You don't like me talking to you? Can I please tell uncle something first? Can I? Can I? A little bit. Yeah. Because children, they really understand you, you know, they know what you're saying. I think that's one thing that I learned from my mom. And you do not speak to kids like they're kids. You think of them as having the capacity of not being able to grasp certain concepts as a mature adult will be, but you don't talk down to them. And that's what I do with Isabel and the rest of the children. So when we found out that Isabel was on this chat group called Discord, naturally I thought this mother so like happening kan would know all this nonsense. I didn't. I Googled and I was horrified to know that it is not just a gaming communication platform, because she does a lot of gaming, and I give her that time to go on to gaming and everything, provided she does everything else.
Yeah.
Are you done? All right.
Yeah.
So going back with Isabel, right? This is something that I wanted to address because I was really shocked, and I'm going to say it out there because I've got unwed pregnant moms who are 9 years old. Okay, 9 years old, are pregnant, huh? And what were you doing when you were 9 years old? 9 years old, I was not thinking of boys. That's one thing for sure. I wasn't. And when we had this case study, sorry, I'm just digressing a bit, but when we did when I checked on this case study, this 9-year-old, the first fear that came to us was she raped? Did something happen to her? Because that was our first fear, because we do have cases like that. 9 years old. What would she know, right? Found out, no, it was suka sama suka. Boyfriend 15 tahun, also underage, mind you. So that's why when some child activists go, ban child marriage, it's not as simple as that, because children nowadays are exploring their sexuality at a much earlier age than we did during our time. Maybe because it's hastened, because we've got the internet and connectivity. Those days when you wanted to watch a blue film, for instance, you had to like truly get the VHS and do like that. I mean, back in those days when my brother used to do it, go truly my father's one, and you know, let's just keep it real, you know. But nowadays, you just Google a bit, dah dapat. Some sites might be banned or blocked, but then in other ways, moving back to what happened with my daughter. So we found out about this chat room called Discord. And I was horrified because I started Googling, like, what the hell is this? And then for that moment, I had this fleeting thought that, oh my God, is there something that I do not know of my daughter? So she was at school at that time, because what happened was that she was called in for hacking a friend's email to go into this Discord thing. So my anak ni hacker. So people were like, wow, anak you terror. And I'm like, no, that's not terror. Okay, that's not something that I want to be proud of. Okay, she's hacking. But I went on Discord and I cried, because naturally when you read all this, like, oh, it's bad, I automatically think, is my child doing something naughty and bad? So when I went online, she was just joining completely for gaming purposes, and another one because my daughter loves drawing. She's very creative. She likes drawing. And another one that she was following these animators, how to do anime drawing and stuff like that. So of course I cried in relief, because I thought, oh my God, I'm such a bad, horrible mother for thinking the worst of my child. And then when she came back from school, we asked her, we grounded her, took all her devices, and we said, you're grounded for this amount of time until you learn what you can't be doing that. And the father, one thing good about Azmi is that he's very fair. He said, maybe you did not know that hacking is actually under the crime of identity theft, because you took somebody's email to be able to hack into this, and you can get caught into that. You are lucky that the person who caught you hacking is a friend of ours. So maybe because we didn't tell you, we did not empower you with this knowledge that this is wrong. So now that we know that you know it is wrong, the next time if you're caught doing this, habis engkau. But we didn't punish her per se then. We just took away her devices, because she knows that that's something that's key for her. You know, she wants to be able to communicate and stuff like that. Siva, I found a screenshot of one of the conversations that she had. And it was really alarming because it's obviously pedos and obviously groomers. But how my daughter was able to handle that conversation made me also realize that I'm so glad I've been banging on her with all this information about predators out there. My husband will show all these videos and documentaries about there are nasty people out there, you know, because she was able to change that narrative of that person who was trying to do nonsense with her, and she's just cut it off just like that. You know what I mean? So we spoke to her about that. I spoke to her personally about that. Very
I want to
important
ask,
that parents
I want
have
to
to
ask you
monitor.
something.
Yeah.
I want to ask you something. It's amazing how you guys are raising your kids, you know, how they're growing up. One of the antidotes for fear is knowledge, right? When you are fearful, you just feed yourself with knowledge, then you know this false evidence appearing real, right?
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you during the time that you first got, because this is very connected to the neuroscience and all that. Number one, according to neuroscientists, what they say is that it takes around 12 years for 90% of the brain to develop. That is from 0 to 12, 90%, and it takes further another 12 to 13 years for the next 10% to develop. That is basically where their prefrontal cortex, their logical, executive thinking, and all that takes place. So at around age 12, 13, they still don't know how to make decisions. And this is what I always tell my friends who are parents. I feel for your kids more than you because they're going through, number one, their brain is not fully developed. Number two, they have also having hormonal challenges. And once they know that, they're like, okay, and then they tend to have a good conversation. But I'm happy for one thing because it could be because of your, work with the kids, for the child protection and all that, make you to be aware of all this for you to talk to your kids, and your husband plays a very important role here to set that environment to have a good conversation rather than being abusive. Because if it's in another family, it would have been more on a reptilian way of doing where you are fight or flight, kid first, talk later, and you guys were having conversation, and I would like to salute you guys for that. That's a very important take home that I got from here, because don't just judge them, because when you go and found out more, you realize you was not actually as how you thought your fears were, right? It's amazing what you guys have done, and I would like to thank you and Azmi for creating an amazing space for your kids to grow. So you also said that you are handling the Facebook and social media. And I'm really happy for that. Now we know, the brain is not fully developed. That's why when we were young, when we were teenagers, definitely, we were doing stuff which was so stupid, right? When parents said don't do, we still did. And we were thinking they were wrong. And now when we think about it, we were so dumb of us doing it. Just that we didn't have YouTube, Facebook, and all that during our time. But now it's all recorded, and that is something parents need to know. And you guys are amazing parents.
Oh, we're not that amazing, trust me. It's always trial and error sometimes, but I think it also falls back to our background. My mother, bless her, she has always been very frank. I think it comes with her medical experience. So she's very clinical. When she discusses sex, for instance, something that's very taboo to most households, she would just say, look, if you get pregnant, I will not be able to assist you with that, and because I'm too busy myself. So she's not saying like, do not get pregnant, do not do that. She will say, this is the circumstances. If you get pregnant, you're on your own, kid. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And whereas my father his approach was stricter, definitely more stricter. So he was someone that would lay his hands on us. Is that good or bad? I don't know. Thank God we turned out okay. But I personally don't condone putting a hand on a child.
Yeah.
I think it's always better communicating, but to each and their own. But having said that, my father was also someone who liked to have conversations with us. He was a very physical man, so he would hug us, and that was very important. And for Azmi, I think his frustration was his father was always so busy. providing for the family. So whenever he, as a child growing up, whenever he had to ask his father for something, the father would say, go to the library and look it up. So because of that, I think he doesn't want, and that was very frustrating for him, because back then mana ada Google, library jauh, naik bicycle pun penat. So for him, he always wants to make sure that the kids are always empowered by knowledge. And if the kids ask him something, dia ni rajin. So during MCO, the cikgu wasn't me, it was him. He has patience of, oh my God, his patience level and his teaching capabilities is just like, woo, salute. Because he had that background of not being able to get those answers quickly. So when our son, no matter how busy he is, my son comes in, Papa, I want to know this. He will either teach them how to find it on their own, and that's why he provides them with all these devices and gets very angry with them if they misuse it. Because he said, I got you this computer so that it will help you to accelerate yourself better in life, not to be doing stupid stuff like ... Now I'm taking it away from you. And then he'll slowly give it back again. And he empowers them with that knowledge. He's so dirajin. That one I have to take it to him like, it's nothing to do with me. Me, I'm more of the nurturing, love. He's the one that has the patience for all that.
It's amazing. Yin and yang. You need to have both polarities, right, to get it going. Otherwise, the magnets don't work. Also, amazing. I want to ask you this question. The next question is basically one of the reasons why we're having this conversation is we strongly felt that there's no one size fits all when it comes to mental health. Because out there's a lot of clinicians who are actually talking about this is how you need to handle your mental health, or someone is reading some book on self-help, this is how you need to handle your mental health. We all know we are all different. Like example, there's no one diet book that can work for everyone. I've tried, I've seen a lot of my clients try. Some work, some doesn't work, because I believe we are a non-linear being. We all have different way. Our being is different. The way we grew up is different. There's fauna, the microbiome is different. A lot of things are different. So I want to know from your side, because we want to bring people on board to talk about their own tools or techniques or talents they have used to come out of this. Not to say that this is the gospel truth. This is something that this person has used to come out of it. If it works for you like a buffet, try it out. We always say if you are clinically, basically diagnosed with a mental health challenge, don't see a doctor, because it's there. But here, there's a lot of other things that people are actually doing that we can duplicate and try it out in a smaller scale. Now, I would like to ask from you, during your darkest time, your adversity, or any time that you feel really down, how do you reset yourself? What techniques do you use, or what tool that you use, or what kind of talent that you have? I see you have a lot of talents that, like example, being authentic itself is a talent by itself. You don't go into that part where you want to have your pity party going on and all that stuff, right? Wallow in the sorrow. So I want to know, how do you bounce back? Because the reason why I'm having this conversation, Daphne, I'll be very sincere. I want to learn seriously, because there's a lot of things that I know that I don't know. And when I meet amazing people out there, even they're at the level of very high or low, there's a lot of things to learn. So I decided to just look at them as how they are, not up, down, just how they are. And because with that, I'll be able to learn some things, and maybe we can pass on to other people. So I want to learn from you. How do you bounce back? Can you please share?
This is going to sound so cliche, but I think I may not look religiously the part, but I've always been very strong in my spiritual belief. So I always believe that there's a higher being, a higher purpose in life. So I went through a very dark phase, and it only started coming out publicly just recently, because I felt it was very important to see people to again show my authentic side, where not everyone who seems to have it all has it all. When I was going through a really nasty, humiliating public divorce, okay, many years back, and I was a single mom. I was so depressed. Money was depleting, paying off the bills, the lawyers and stuff like that. And it was constant hounding. I was at the point where I might have lost my job. So things were really harsh. And it was really easy for me to just end it all by slitting my wrist. Okay, so I will remember that day very well because it was in a dark room. I was giving up. I had a knife with me and my wrist was there. It was just taking that courage to do it because I was also thinking, can it be a clean one? So if I do it, die terus lah, tak payah sakit-sakit. I don't want to feel any more pain anymore. I've already feel so much hurt inside me. And when you're in a very dark phase, you're just, everything else is just, it's just about you and your gloom and your doom, right? My daughter at that point was just learning how to crawl. For some odd reason, she managed to get inside to the room, in that dark room, and she crawls in and she sits on my lap. All right. So Isabel sits on my lap and I'm there with a knife for first. And I think the maternal instinct kicks in because you've got a sharp object and you've got your baby next to you, right? So you automatically want to remove the sharp object because I want to harm myself. I want to end my pain. I want to hurt me so that I don't feel the hurt. Let me be hurt. Let me feel the hurt and stuff like that. But I don't want to hurt anyone else because that's not my DNA to hurt anybody else. And I put down the knife and she just looked at me and she wasn't talking. She wasn't walking. She just stared at me. And I had drawn the curtains really dark because I was feeling dark anyway. I might as well have the environment all dark too, right? I swear to God, there was a prong of light that just shone on Isabel's face. Maybe I was hallucinating in my depression. I don't know. I was not drunk. I was quite sober. I had no intoxicants, but I swear to God, that happened. There was this light that just shone on Isabel's face. And I knew automatically, I said, I cannot do this. I need to keep fighting. And it was from there, because I was just wallowing down, just going down, spiraling down at that point in my life. And when I saw that light, it was just, it sounds so cliche. So, oh my God, Hollywood. It really did. It just sort of like woke me up. I opened up the curtains. I said, no, I need to have my sunshine back. I'm not this sort of person. I need to bounce back. I've got a young kid to look after. She's depending on me fully right now. Fuck the ex. I'm going to go ahead with this and just, it's just going to be me and you, kid, when we're going to do this. And that resilient moment came because of her. I had a purpose in life. My purpose in life was to make sure this child was not going to be motherless. Already she's parentless. I mean, she's already like, without the father, she can't be without the mother. You know what I mean? So that was my purpose in life. That was my intention. And when you set that small seed of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, you can do this, angels will come. The law of attraction, universe will come in, the vibrations are there and it will help you, but you need to have that belief in yourself first. So I think that was very important. Spiritually, I was saying, oh my God, this is a sin. I can't do this. I can't take my life. It's very selfish of me to do this to this poor kid who won't have a mother or a father at that time then. So I think, yeah, that's my life experience. And it was something that kept me going. And I think that's the reason why when my husband and I, we've got our ups and downs too, all right? As of any marriage, we've got our ups and downs. But it always boils down to, what is our goal here? We love each other. We're great parents to these set of kids that we have. Let's do our best for that. So we always go back when things get really nasty between us, we shift that focus into, what is our goal right now? Why are we fighting? Why are we doing this? Setback. What is our goal? The thing that glues us together, our children. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Wow, Daphne. Awesome.
So that was my learn. Like you were saying, you learn from up or high. Isabel was my teacher then. She taught me.
Wow.
Don't give up, Mom.
It's just amazing. I was thinking of the word glue when you said the word glue. I wanted to say that glue. You said that you saw the purpose in your kids. And until now, it has been your foundation or the spinal cord of your entire, whatever that you're creating. You're also into the social work that you're doing, which is related to kids also. At that time, did you know that you are going to do this, or have you started?
Again, everything happens to me accidentally or purposely. maybe it's purposely. The reason why I work so much with unwed moms and pregnant moms is because in one of my assignments back in TV3, I had befriended this lady in Chowkit who was pregnant with a little boy, but the parents didn't want to welcome her back to the family because she was pregnant and she was also a drug addict. So I was very close to adopting that boy. Well, at that point of time, I thought it was just easy lah. I just take the boy and done lah. Adopt, look like Hollywood, can do that. Angelina Jolie can do that. I can do it right. I didn't know that there was going to be some documents and it's not as easy as that. But at that point of time, naive 22-year-old Daphne Iking, 24-year-old Daphne Iking thought, I can handle this. I can just take the kid and help out this mother, right? Fortunately, the mother decided to keep her child. But I was very close. I had bought the diapers, I bought milk. I was ready to be a mom without even telling my parents that I was going to have a young baby in a life where I was not even financially strong myself. It was just a reaction. So I knew I wanted to become a mother even before I was a mother. And that is probably the reason why I work with unwed moms and everything. Because a few years later, I found out that the mother passed away. She passed away because of AIDS. And I never know. Until now, I don't know where that boy is. So he must be a good, well, he should be about 17, 20. Yeah, he should be about that age now. And I think that's is when Azmi and I, we had, so he's got his set of, he's got Arif, I've got Isabel. And we thought, okay, we've done the marriage part, we've done the wedding, we've got our kids, let's just be partners for life and no need to worry about the whole shebang. But as God decided, that he gave us Iman, which is our child together. And I thought, okay lah, cukup lah, kan? But you see, I think law of attraction, I've always wondered what happened to that boy. I've always wanted that son. I got a son. And then to balance things out, I get another son. There you go.
There you go. You're totally, both of you are totally responsible. One night things happened and, there you are. It's amazing. Definitely, it's awesome. Thank you for, sharing authentically, these are private moments of your life that you're sharing, for us to share with the world, because we're all human beings, and one thing that keeps us together, I feel these two virtues we need to have as a human being. It's love, that's self-love, and the next one is compassion, that is to alleviate someone, right? You have that both. Congratulations. How, I'm not trying to flatter you. This is based on the conversation that we're having and the experience that you're sharing on where your heart is and was and where it's going to be. Because I hear you. You have purpose. Purpose gets people to move mountains, right? Again, that purpose needs to be brought to the now in order to make things happen. Because if you don't work in the now, the purpose will not happen, right? So you've been doing that, and having any family members who are going through tough time, they have kids. If they can use your secret weapon, which is, I call it the tool, your kids, in another word, because you use them as a tool to bounce back. They are a glue, and that's the biggest reset button, right? If they can just, you saw the light on Isabel's face. From where the light came, who cares, right? Another thing I want to check with you, I wanted to ask you is that you said, you don't look religious, right? But you are
spiritual.
Spiritual, right? There's no dress code for being spiritual. It is what we think of based on our memory that we have and the identification that we have set by looking at others. You are spiritual when you're happy, right? And you are, whether we have it all or not, but we have it anyway, right now.
You really have to create your happiness. That's so important. Yes. You have to set the boundaries that it is a work ethic.
Yes.
And you really can't be happy.
Yeah.
You can't get anyone else. It has to be from yourself. And I think that's so important. And that's why I keep on telling people, go to the center. Go. It's so much easier for you to understand it. I can't explain it. Go.
No, you know what? You are touching so many lives. Daphne, thank you so much for being in our space. It has been a wonderful, wonderful time with you, sharing, candidly about a lot of things. I know you more than I knew you before, and there's a lot of respect. And keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure we will meet again to celebrate. Stay safe during this pandemic time. This is something that we can't see. It's not taking anyone, whether they're in a higher strata or lower, whether they're doing well in life. Recently, we had a launch for my son's food app.
Oh,
Yeah,
congrats.
so it's funny, during MCU, a lot of people were telling, find a new skill. We as a family created a new app. So we were super busy. So it's funny. People think we're weird, so it's okay. We're all weird, so it doesn't really matter. We
Celebrate
get weird
small
because we like.
victories. That's what I say.
Exactly. Yeah. So when the State Expo came to launch, guess what? She has to go through the temperature scan. She has to scan the barcode, the QR code. Everyone has to do, even if you are the royalty, right? That's how humble we are. I know I'm such a small little speck of dust in this universe. I can't be telling myself I'm the biggest drama that I'm playing now. So that keeps me humble, seriously. So thank you very much, Daphne. Regards to your family, and wishing you a wonderful day, and also enjoy being human. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Thank you for having
Bye,
me.
guys. Just